we can get rid of some of these things on the list, like firewall. It's done. We're back in the shop. It has been a crazy week working and getting some stuff done outside the shop. Cleaning some landscaping and getting a whole bunch of different stuff done, guys. So I'm back on the Nova. I'm a little disheveled. I'm tired after work. We are working on a couple different things today. So the heater box right here, I originally modified and did a couple things to it so that the ports don't come out, because originally they came out right here, and the motor, mind you, sits right about there. Not a great design. It's kind of one of those where with the V8, you don't have clearances. I've seen guys bend those to get out of the way. I didn't like that. So I came up with this originally. All right, you get a better idea what I'm talking about here. Sorry about the light. It's all shiny. But yeah, so these got bent down right up against this. I just kind of bent them up. And if you know anything about these aluminum heater cores, you can't bend these more than probably once or twice before they start fracturing and cracking. These aren't cracked yet. They're just beat up. So I don't want that. That looks like garbage. And also, I don't think those are pointing in the right direction. So I'm just going to take the box off, see if we could do something to modify it up in the box. Yay. All right. Let's get this off. I think that's all of them. All right, let's see what fun things are living. What fun things are living inside here. Oh, I don't think I did that, did I? No, I didn't. Okay. Oh. Yep. There are all kinds of fun guys in there. All right. So you can see a bunch of daddy long legs coming out of there. My floor looks like it's just covered in daddy long legs. So you can see how I modified that, put a piece of rubber. Did some interesting stuff there with some rivets. Yeah, there's another little spider. All right, so there's that. But you can see here now what I did with that heater core. Now, see, it got kinked harder than I thought it did. That is no bueno. All right, well, we're probably going to have to pull this whole box out, and we're going to have to replace this heater core or do something like that. All right, so I decided to cut these off. So that one was there, and that one was there. So I decided to cut these off, but you can see how they're dented and all that stuff. So this core support, I found one online. It's about $35 for a Corvette, 80s Corvette, something like that. I could order a new one, modify the new one, or I could show you how to modify that one. And down the road, when we are driving, we'll have massive leaks inside the cab and it'll be fun. We'll have to replace it then. But I'm going to try to modify that one and show you how. Let's see how it goes. So these are a pair of crimps and a pair of cutters, but they are very locked up to the point where I don't want to use them as crimps and cutters, mainly because I have probably 2 or 3 pairs of these laying around and someone gave me these. So what we're going to do is we are going to hack the tip off. We're going to modify this to make a flange tool so that we can flange these to make it look like the old ones. You get an idea of what we've done here is that has a little notch in it already built in, as you can see. Yay, a little notch. So now we just got to cut in and out, in and out, so that this fits inside of a pipe. And the perfect little notching tool. And then I will show you how to use it. That little piece inside there, I rounded over, if you can tell. And we rounded off the edges here and did some other stuff like that. And I rounded off inside that little crevice a little bit. And that helped not make a can opener. And now we got some flares on here that are actually not bad. Like those would work just fine. All right, we're back on this heater core, trying to modify it and get it in. I did end up buying a new one, so I'm going to show you kind of what I'm doing here, and we're going to get that figured out today. You can see the old one and what I did. I flared all these, did all that, and this was not too bad, but these tubes ended up being too short. So it would be kind of a pain to get the hoses on. So now you can see, generally speaking, them next to each other. They are meant for the same car, yet they are totally different. Love manufacturing nowadays. You can't ever rely on them sending you the exact same part, even though I went on whatever website and ordered the exact same part I ordered years ago. So, whatever. So that means we will have to modify the box a little bit once we get this back in, but I'm going to focus right now on getting these tubes straightened and bent. Or, like I said, we might have to cut them and flare them like we did on these, and we'll do a little bit cleaner job since I fixed the tool. All right, so I ended up having to cut them. There was no way we were going to bend them clean. So now you can see what I did. So lopped them right off. This will come right underneath that housing, and we'll be able to attach a hose, and it'll just be so much easier. And I don't want to spend all day on this. So now all we need to do is just put a little bit of a flare on here. We're going to be very careful this time. Last time I was crimping a little bit too hard. You remember that we made the tool. Oh, hey, look at that. It's right here. We made the little tool for it, and it works really well, except for when you go too hard. It is like a can opener. It destroys it. So I might modify this a little bit, actually. What I most likely will do is take one of these pieces just to do a test run. So what I'm saying is, you can see on this one how it has that little bit of a, when the hose goes on and you clamp on, it can't come off that little flare. That's what we're trying to accomplish with this tool. I think I got it. So we have modified this tool to the point where I cannot modify it anymore. I will show you what I did. But like I said, on this kind of tool, guys, you're going to have to build them yourself. You're going to have to make it, adjust it, do all that. That's why having the sample pieces works great. You modify, modify, and modify until you like what you see. And I think I might have gotten it. So only one way to find out. All right. So that's my favorite one so far. So we have gotten the tool to where it's working really well. It's hard to see on here, guys. It's not very clean, but it works. So I think it's time to move forward and just do it. We don't have any play on this. So I messed this one up. We're buying another one. So now you can see comparatively. Come on, focus. See, there it is. All right. So the end got a little bit chewed up, but I will sand that flat. Other than that, it actually came out. I'm very happy with it. It's perfect. It's just enough to keep a hose on. Now I'm going to do the second one. All right, so we got it. Now we got 2 flares on there, guys, and now we can get it installed in the car. Finally done. I had to put some rubber in here to kind of space the new one out a little bit, but now, as you can tell, that fits nice and tight like that. So that fits really, really good. We still have to put the bracket on, so I'm going to put this on just to hold it temporarily, like that. You can see without the bracket, it holds pretty good. And mind you, none of this is stock. This is all stuff I've done before. So as you can tell, self-tappers. But these are the cool looking self-tappers. Yeah, those work good. All right. Oh yeah, look at that. That is super tight. And that gives us enough clearance now so that we can run our hoses right up in here. Nice tight to the frame, nice little curve. And we're good to go. So now let's get the housing back on. I'm actually going to clean up the firewall a little bit before we do that. Dang, that firewall cleans up pretty good still, man. That paint has held up for a very long time. Here, let me get in camera, so you can see my beautiful face. I painted that over 6 years ago, and it still is holding up just great. Love rattle cans, they work great. Now we got the housing. We're gonna just kind of clean it up a little bit. It's a little dirty inside and out. The paint's holding up great though. I'm very, very happy with the quality of paint for it sitting outside exposed too. This hasn't had fenders and a hood on it. This has been totally exposed to the elements, and it holds up really well. It's cleaned up. Mainly the inside is pretty gross. So has had a lot of little critters living in here, little spiders and fun stuff. I mean, that's pretty clean right there. So didn't take much. Doesn't take much. Whoa. All right. Now we got to pull that off. This is where the challenge comes in, is doing all of this without this wanting to fall in. So this might be real fun. So we are going to have to figure out some way for this to stay here while we bolt the rest of this on. So, and I think we got it right there. I think that might be good enough. Kind of just put one side in on a time. Yeah, that went pretty smooth actually. You can see the little port sticking out. Perfect. We have one nut that is not here. All right. Now look at that. That's going to work beautifully. We got this. Don't mind this spider web. Spider. We got the ports sticking down. They're far away from the frame. Now we can make that work. So let's get her done. Oh, wait. We got her done. Sorry. Zoned out for a second. Ah! Okay. Well, I'm not going to use this take. I'm getting goofy. All right, so we got the cover on. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. It needs some touch-up paint and to be wiped down, but you can see the ports now are far enough away from the frame where we can get some hose to go right up in there, tighten down. Man, that's going to work beautifully. Now we get to move on to the next project. I'm not 100% on this project. We got to do windshield wiper motor, but we originally cut out right here the original placement and replace that with some sheet metal, kind of clean up the firewall a little bit. And we ended up moving it over here. And it did work, but I'm not a fan of how I did it. Mind you, that was a long time ago. And I have grown as a mechanic in the past 6 to 10 years. Not much. I've actually kind of probably gone backwards a little bit, but we're going to redo that. I'm not a huge fan of how I did it. The execution wasn't great. The idea was fun. Also, we might be moving it back to the firewall just for easy maintenance. I think we're going to be moving it back to the firewall. We're going to see if it all works out. We're going to get it done, but we're going to be working on that next, guys. Woo! Let's do it. Let's get this one torn out and go from there. All right, let's see what kind of weirdo stuff I did. Oh, wow. I used the spacer. You like my custom spacer? Yeah, it's a spring. Hey, I got real creative back then. I'm just saying. That right there is impressive. All right. Okay, at least I did one thing right. I made everything the right size, the same size. I only need one wrench. Oh, I lied. I need a screwdriver. All right. That was a creative way of doing it. Wow. Okay. So we don't need this anymore. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to throw it. I'm going to keep it just in case. Because you never know. But this has some creative fabrication right there. I assumed that I was going to go back and finish this because it is not pretty. So we are going to do a patch panel in here eventually when we do this. So now we just got to get in here on the firewall and figure out where we're going to mount that motor. And then we can build the rod for it and do all that stuff. So next project. All right, I think I got everything so I don't have to crawl in and out. So we're going to make a template. Well, first off, we're going to figure out kind of where we want this. I like that position. I think that's probably pretty good right about there. I like it. There's nothing in the way behind it. Nice solid metal right there. So we're going to actually mark that right there with the pen, drill a hole. So there is only one problem that I see is this. It's hard to see on camera. Here, I'll show you. But this plane where all these bolts line up is actually needs to be, the flat sheet metal is making this not deep enough, this main shaft. So we're going to have to sink down these holes to make it work. I have a trick for that, though. It's going to be a fun little trick to show you. This is a dimple die, and I own a couple of these sizes, but this is a very small one. You can see there's a little taper there that punches in and makes a dimple. This one, sadly enough, is not going to work for this application because the holes are too small. So you can make this tool around your shop. I guarantee you have some of this stuff laying around. And that's what this is. It's kind of hard to see, but it is your own makeshift dimple die that works great on sheet metal. I want to try to do it on anything else. So pretty much what I have is a 1/4 inch bolt. I have, if you can kind of see there, this is a nylock and it has a natural taper on top. And then all you have to do is find a nut that kind of fits into, and then obviously too big of a nut, so you need a washer and another nut, and it works the exact same way. Let me show you. There you go. Simple as that. Now this will go right there and fit nice and flush. That hole, now see the center hole needs to get drilled out.
Hey everybody, I want to explain to you while I'm drilling this hole who the other voice is in the shop. And my father decided to come by. He's always interested in the things I'm doing in the shop and what I'm getting accomplished and the way we have to go about getting them done. The nice part is he showed up in the perfect time and I put him right to work, grabbing me tools.
Yeah, it's not hitting anymore. So now the issue is my daddy has to help me. So I don't have to crawl out again. Right on that workbench. Can you grab that? There's a little red handle next to that yellow pair of pliers.
This?
Yep.
That?
Yep, that thing. That's a deburr.
Okay, you
So
got
you
it.
take that and you put it in the hole.
Oh. Yeah, that. You build things the way I do, you probably use that a lot.
Yeah, the problem is you can't get on the inside easily, so you gotta go. Yeah, so I'll have to get in here now. Try to get those out. So there you go. So now we can take that motor and we'll put it in here. And now we just take the bolts. So it definitely helps.
Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I learned. Just wanted to check and see what you're doing, baby.
Mm-hmm. Getting stuff in, getting stuff knocked off the list.
As a master mechanic, I'm just checking to see.
Gonna have to definitely
Doing your home.
get a ratchet or something.
You want a ratchet?
I forgot that this has the shaft in there. So, all right. So, top drawer over there where that one's sticking out, you can push that one in. And then top drawer, it's going to be the 1/4 inch drive, little baby ratchet.
Okay.
Right in the middle, that one. And then on the right hand, one of the first ones is the 1/4 inch drive deep sockets. Yeah, I need 10 millimeter. No, over.
10 millimeter?
Over close to where you grab that ratchet. Closer, left, these. Yeah, those, and you got to get a 10 millimeter, one of the small. Yep, that one I can get in. I forgot there's a shaft in the middle of this, so I can't get that wrench on it.
Sure.
And of course, this will have to come out probably 2 or 3 more times.
Really?
Oh yeah, I got to test the shaft and all that stuff. I just want to test fit right now, and it fits nice and solid.
Yeah.
So nice and solid, and that shaft now is sticking out past
the flush.
Yep. So that will work. All right. So we got all that test fit, and now this little arm does not fit on that shaft. So we are going to modify it right now. All right. So we got that kind of fitting. Now that it's not sliding all the way down, but I want to tighten that nut down and kind of press fit a little bit. It's fitting pretty good though. You could pretty much push it all the way on. And as you can tell, if I hold it in the right position. So we got to press fit that on with the nut. I'm going to go tighten this on. I'll be back.
I lost a whole bunch of footage. And so we're just on to the next step. Right now we're cutting out some pieces in the firewall. We're going to be patching that up, getting rid of the old wiper mount. Now that we got the new one mounted on the firewall in the correct location, we're going to be patching up that, the lower cowl panel, and getting some of these fab things done. So I hope you enjoy the time lapse of me cutting and grinding and welding, getting stuff done. Woo!
All right, here it is. So we got this all welded on and just using plug welds. And then we rolled the lip, which I believe, if you come over here to look at this side, is not how the factory did it, which is surprising. So they just kind of glued this stuff together. So I rolled the edges just to make it like a little nicer, which doesn't matter because I'm not doing that side anyway. But this just makes it a little bit tighter, rolling the edge. So we got all this welded in now. Now all I'm going to do is clean that up, and then we can seam seal and paint. But before we do all that, I want to finish up some of the fab work and get these holes finished. So that's what we're going to work on next. All right, so we got the one patched up right there. You can see that we got that pretty much metal finished right there. It looks pretty good. It's not too bad. I think we're going to spray a little bit of filler primer. There's a tiny, tiny bit of pinholes. You can kind of see them. They're very hard to see. Yeah, right there. You see those pinholes? Not worried about it. I'm literally going to spray a filler primer when we're done with all this, probably on a couple different spots just to use the primer. But once we're done with that, it's going to look sharp. Need to fill this one and get that done. And I really don't want to bother you guys with it. I don't want to bore you with it. So I think we're just going to do a little one of those fancy snap things that you see. It kind of worked. So had a little mishap with the camera. Apologize for that. But let me show you what I ended up getting done today. Sorry again that I didn't catch it, but let me show you. So we ended up getting all the holes patched and we ended up painting the firewall. This is just a nice little rattle can job right here, but it came out pretty slick. We got all the seam sealer on. You can kind of see where we did those, which is unfortunate. And then that's some of the old seam sealer and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty gross. But hey, we made this nice and clean. Got all that done. Got the holes patched. That's all done. Got the firewall stuff patched. And we gave it a little spritz. We cleaned it up and painted it. I think it came out pretty nice. I almost forgot we can get rid of some of these things on the list. Like firewall. It's done. We also can get rid of glass. Yay. Get rid of that. Get rid of all that stuff. Oh, seam seal under car. Signs and panels and the firewall. Oh, we can get rid of all that. That's all done. Sorry, you can't actually see the list, can you? I'm going to get rid of trunk too because I just want it off the list. I don't even care anymore. It's going bye-bye. All right. We got some stuff off the list. Now we got so much more to do. But we're getting it. All right, so that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Next video, we are going to be working on brake lines and brakes. So let's see what happens. Woo! Tomorrow's going to be a good day.